Fog-Bound on an Icicle, Chapter 2, The Makings of a Hero. Well, hello there. Thank you for joining us again. Just as a little refresher for you, in the last episode, we talked about my Grandpa Frank and his time in the United States Air Forces. As a matter of fact, he flew in missions during the Aleutian Islands campaign, and later he died during a test flight of the B-47 Stratojet. In this episode, we're going to talk about his formative years and how he became a pilot. Frank grew up on a farm between Frisco and McKinney, Texas. His mother was a member of the Gentile Society. His father, Ernest, was part of a large family of early Texas farmers. They had one of the first combustion engine tractors in the state. Frank was born on January 30th, 1918. He was an old-fashioned farm boy and a Huck Finn-like character. Yes, indeed. He would often be seen piloting some kind of vehicle, whether it be toy cars, tractors, pigs, sailboats, or horses. Apparently, he had quite a bit of experience riding horses. Yeah, Frank was a real-life cowboy from Texas. It was clear that he had an aptitude for being a pilot and steering different kinds of crafts and animals. He spent most of his early days fishing by the creeks and bogs and admiring the tadpoles. He had a natural love and talent for fishing. You see, fishing is a thoughtful sport. It requires a lot of patience and planning. Skills that would later prove to be useful for Frank. I'm sure that if in any way I am connected to my Grandpa Frank, it's through the grand sport of fishing. In high school, he was the captain of the football team. Later, he was a champion archery instructor. Bowman Frank won the intramural archery contest at St. Mary's University. Shooting the double American round, he compiled scores of 360 and 409. Maybe that good aim would come in handy later. Whether it was sports or recreation, he was always surrounded with friends. People said he never met a stranger. He would make up nicknames for his friends like Sparky, Skeeter, and Shorty. Now you see, everyone liked Frank. He was like an everyday Jimmy Stewart. He could be funny, charming, not to mention how handsome he was. He spoke with a slow southern drawl, similar to Jimmy Stewart. Well, he was quite a guy, all right. He met his sweetheart, Dorothy, at a party, and it was like one of those love at first sight kind of things, I guess. You can see their school dance card where they were signing up for every dance together. Sometime around 1940, the United States got involved in World War II. There was a built-up resentment towards the Axis powers because of the news on the radio since 1939 and the attacks on Britain. Then Pearl Harbor happened in December 1941. Right after that, the United States got into the war big time, make no mistake. It was a huge event. Everyone in the whole country was in agreement. The entire nation was going to war. There were people lining up around the block to sign up for service.
Now, it isn't as if it was a chore for me to talk to you because I want to speak on my favorite subject, the Army Air Forces. Right now, the greatest mass mobilization in the history of the world is taking place. Men from cities, towns, farms, married men and single men, brothers, sweethearts, husbands, fathers and sons, businessmen and workers from the factories, and students from colleges and high schools all over America. They're mobilizing, joining up, or having their numbers pulled out of a fishbowl. And this war we're fighting today and tomorrow and the next day until we win is a war of the air. The whole world knows that. Our factories know that. So, interceptors, pursuit ships, light bombers, medium bombers, and flying fortresses are rolling out of those factories. 65,000 fighting planes this year. 100,000 fighting planes next year. And to keep them flying, 2 million men. Now that's where you come in. The Army Air Forces need 15,000 captains, 40,000 lieutenants, 35,000 flying sergeants. Well, how about it? Basketball, football, baseball, or some activity where coordination, control, and the ability to work together with the rest of the team, that's important. The same in the Air Force. They're one big team, and they need men who can pull together and play the game. So, you and your teammates should be a cinch in this, the biggest all-American team we've ever had.
He enlisted in the National Guard to help pay for college at St. Mary's, where he studied economics, government, religion, and philosophy. He was a MP. That means military police. He must have known early on that he wanted to fly planes, because he completed some private flying license courses offered by St. Mary's. April 1940, St. Mary's University Air School graduates 10 pilots, including Frank. The civilian pilot training course is being given to 20 students of St. Mary's under Civil Aeronautics Authority.
Now, your physical examination. Well, that's not going to be so tough. If you're an average guy and normally healthy, you'll make the grade, all right?
November 18th, 1940. Frank's physical examination. Eyes brown, hair brown, complexion ruddy, locomotion, vision, hearing, dental, psychiatric, all normal. Fort Sam Houston, San Antonio, Texas. In addition to training received by other infantry units, the 36th Military Police received training in police procedure, court procedure, maintains its own fingerprint and intelligence sections, and employs various traffic problems for the traffic section.
So one day you say goodbye to Mother and Dad. They're pretty proud and happy, too. Especially Dad. His suspenders are about to bust. Yeah, you say goodbye to Sister Jane, and maybe Aunt Minnie. Oh, yeah, Uncle Ben, and Brother Joy. Those first few steps down the walk are the beginning of a great adventure. Oh, wait, just wait a minute now. Aren't going to forget that sweet little bit of something next door.
April 11th, 1941. The first class of cadets at flying school. 47 cadets, including Frank. 52 primary training planes are at the field. Cadet Frank from San Antonio, Texas, attended St. Mary's University for 4 years, where he received a degree in commerce. He played football and was the school handball champion. Before entering the detachment, he held the first 1/5 spec rating in the 36th Division of the Military Police Company of Brownwood, Texas.
Now, here's a sort of a composite picture of what happens to you in the first few weeks of your aviation cadet training. You find your room, meet your roommate, get a haircut, Army style, and try on a new pair of shoes and a new uniform that really fits. Then, time to eat. Those chops are on the fire. Eat with a few hundred other guys just as hungry as you are. In ground school, officers with years of experience patiently explain what makes them fly. And then one day, when class is over, you get all rigged out in what the well-dressed birdman will wear. You feel like quite a guy as you meet your flying instructor. But always in your memory will be the thrill of that first beautiful morning when you took off for the first time. You can make as high as $245 a month, and with a bonus of $500 for each year of service in the Air Forces. Or if you become one of those 15,000 captains we need right away, you'll receive $430 a month while you serve your country.
Frank is now another of Uncle Sam's aviation cadets who recently enlisted in the U.S. Army Air Corps and is carrying out the spirit of the new national slogan, "Keep 'em Flying." Aviation was developing rapidly during the Second World War, and Frank was among the earliest brave pilots to fly. Frank already had some experience with flying, and he had a college degree, so he was made a corporal. He started out flying basic trainer planes in the Army Air Corps.
Well, time has marched on. Here you are, cruising along in a BT, that's basic trainer to you, and twisting your tail into a few acrobatics and loops and barrel rolls and snap rolls. Some fun, huh? And a few more weeks roll by. You find yourself in still another plane, an advanced trainer this time. Yes, indeed, you're really getting up in the world at the rate of nearly 200 miles an hour. But you think this is something. Well, now, just wait. Fellas, shake hands with Mr. B-17 and a few of his big brothers. Now, watch out now, he's tough. Those 4 motors roaring through the sky like a thunderstorm, they can't fool with them.
With his flight cap and goggles on, he looked like the poster boy for the Air Corps. Oh yeah, flying was a cinch for him. He took to it naturally and was comfortable behind the controls. He stood out as an exceptional pilot, even among the other cadets. October 5th, 1941, Dorothy and Frank. It's just 16 o'clock. That's flying time for 4 p.m. at Kelly Field in the beginning of the tea dance hour. He would go on to soar up the ranks and have some exciting missions. But that's for next time, and I hope to see you there. In the next episode of Fogbound on an Icicle, Frank takes his first major assignment in the Aleutian Islands campaign. That'll be some fun, huh? I hope to see you there.
Now, this is your place. This is where you'll serve America best. Young men of America, your future's in the sky. Your wings are waiting.